Hello my fellow creators and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Yvette and I am part of the Not Too Shabby Shop design team. Today I'm going to do a project share showing you the 15 cards I made using Kendra's Card Challenge 20, and it'll be my December entry. And I used the goodies from the Not Too Shabby Shop December box of the month. So I used the Cross My Heart pattern paper. I also brought in images and sentiments from all the Snuggles 6x6 stamp set. Also brought in images and sentiments from the Sweet on You 6x8 stamp set. In addition to these Not Too Shabby goodies, I brought in some stuff from my stash to help me with my backgrounds on some of these. So I brought in this Doris heart background embossing folder, as well as this stencil from Crafty Stamp Co. Let's see if there's a name on it. I don't see a name on it, but it's a heart stencil. So it's a 6x6 stencil, and I use this for one of the backgrounds as well. Now, something I did a little different this time around when I was planning, after I cut all my papers, I had to figure out what I was going to use as far as my images or sentiments. And typically I use the coordinating ephemera. But I thought it would be a fun change of pace for me to use some stamped images and color them in myself. So along those lines, what I did was on the sketch itself, I used my stamps, had them out with me, and then I kind of decided what would go where. So here I wrote down deer with balloons, so it was this image, so I knew I was going to use that for that. Here I put that I was going to use a little envelope image, which is this one here, and then the sentiment that says love ya, which is, oh my goodness, where is it? Right here. So I did that with all my sketches. So I kind of jotted down what I wanted to do, and I think I stuck to them mostly. I might have changed one or two along the way. Now, as usual, I put them all in my little plastic sleeves. So I put in my cut pattern paper, my matte layers, my stamped images, my sentiments, and even the card base. And that way I was able to work on one at a time. And if I had to leave my crafty session, take a break, I could come back and pick up where I left off. So let me share the actual finished cards with you. So here is sketch number 1. And you see, like I put on my little planning sketch, I used the little deer image with balloons. Oh, but I forgot. No, I didn't put a sentiment. I had no sentiment on that. And so I stamped it, colored it in, and added it to my card. Doesn't that deer just look adorable? Now, I was going to add some finishing touches with my gel pen here, and I forgot on some of them because I was like kind of working through and trying to finish up, and at that point, I didn't want to put the gel pen because I was finishing a card and sticking it back in the sleeve, and I want to give this a minute to dry. So there is card sketch number 1. Here is card sketch number 2. So just like on my little planning guide, here's my little envelope with the hearts coming out of it and the sentiment that says love ya. So let me add just a little bit of my white gel pen here as well, just to kind of add a little bit of final detail. And voila, card sketch number 2. And I am loving the colors of these papers. They're just, I would never have thought to put purples and reds together, but look how beautifully they work together. Now, here's card sketch number 3. And let me mention that I am no expert colorist. I just kind of do real basic coloring. Very rarely do I add any shading, but I added a little bit on the books here. So this is a books with a mug on top of it, and it says hug in a mug. And for a lot of my matte layers, these purple and lavender matte layers, I used up scraps of purple that I had in my stash. Alrighty, here is sketch number 4. And this one says Happy Galentine's Day. These are these little cookies wrapped up in a bow. I think this turned out so pretty. Did you like it? I love the reds and purples together. I just can't get over how wonderfully they coordinate. So there is sketch number 4. Oh, and I didn't add my detail to this one or to the previous one. Let me do that. I keep forgetting. Now here is sketch number 5. And see, this one, I thought I would add the detail to, and I did, but then I added it right in the plastic sleeve right away. And the gel ink kind of smudged a little bit, but I'm okay with it. It turned out okay. And I really like, I wasn't sure. At first I thought, well, I should make the little chair lavender, but then I thought, no, I want it to be red. And I think I like the way that turned out. I like the red, and with that little kitty cat just taking a nice little nap in that comfy, cozy chair, all snuggled up with love. And this sentiment, if I remember correctly, let me look, yes. So this was one long sentiment, but I did some stamp surgery, split it down the middle, and that way I was able to kind of split the sentiment where snuggled up was above the little chair and with love was below. Don't be afraid to do stamp surgery, okay, guys? It will work out. Here is sketch number 6, and here I added these little mugs, and I stamped the XO inside the heart. So I did that, and I thought that would be a nice little way of having my sentiment there without it overtaking the image. I think it's really cute. Okay, so that's number 6. So here is number 7. Oh, I had so much fun coloring this one, friends. Again, I just stuck with the lavenders and the reds, and I think it turned out so cute. And I love these images of 3 besties forever. So cute. And see, it doesn't have to be Valentine's themed. There's snowflakes here. So this could be used just as a little card to send to one of your besties. I love it. Oh, let's add the detail. Almost forgot. See how easily I forget things, guys? Sometimes I don't know when to stop. Once I start adding it, it's like, oh, let me add some more here and let me add some more there. I need to learn when to say when. Right, friends? Okay, I'm saying when on this one. So that's number 7. Here is sketch number 8. Now for this one, I did not put an image. I just stamped that sentiment that says all the snuggles. And although it may look like black ink, it's actually a deep purple. It is, I believe, let me look. I have it out here. It is edible eggplant. It's a Gina K ink. So I used that ink as well as, I think I used Lovely Lavender somewhere along the way. But for sure, edible eggplant. Really cute. And here, friends, like I was using scraps, I didn't put a full piece of this purple cardstock behind this pattern paper. I didn't have a piece wide enough in my scraps, so I had 2 narrower pieces, so I just put them behind there, and it worked out perfectly. Here's sketch number 9, friends. Isn't that beautiful? I love this paper. So here what I did is I kind of dry fit this pattern paper here so I knew where to stamp my sentiment on the matte layer. And then once I did that, I was able to attach my pattern paper, color up my image, and add it here to my card. So for number 10, there's no image added or really sentiment other than if you look closely, this is where I use that lavender ink, the Lovely Lavender, and I stamped tone on tone on this lavender paper. So I used a bunch of the snowflake images and then a little heart images and the sentiment that says, I heart you. So that's my sentiment there. Isn't that pretty? Subtle, but it has that I love you message on there, so I like it. That's number 10. Now for number 11, my friends, this is where I used that embossing folder from my stash and then went over it with some white pigment ink just to kind of bring out the design. and then added this little cupcake there. And I did not add a sentiment on this one. I'm thinking I want to save this because this could be a really cute happy birthday card, right? It doesn't have to be a Valentine's card. You just have to think outside the box when you're creating your cards or using your pattern papers. It doesn't have to be what you think that theme of pattern paper is meant to be used for. You can use it for anything. Alrighty. Here is sketch number 12. And what I did here is I got this image and I stamped it, but then I fussy cut it out. So I took off the handles and use it as kind of just like little cups and colored those in. And then I stamped the little mug that was here and fussy cut around it. So I removed the books from that stamped image. So I kind of changed them a little bit and then colored them in, added the sentiment that says Cocoa Kisses. Loving this. I just love not too shabby papers and stamps and ephemera, everything, all the things. Isn't that cute? Speaking of which, I will be sure to link to the Not Too Shabby shop in the description box below. All right, friends, here is sketch number 13. And here again, I dry fit these little squares here so I knew where to stamp my sentiment, and then I stamped my image directly on that matte layer of paper, and then I colored it in. And here for the snow, I used my white gel pen and just kind of filled it in and added some white little dots for some snowflakes there. Now, sketch number 14, here is where I used that stencil, and I used I think it was edible eggplant on this one. Yeah, for this image, for this stencil. And then here, after I laid on my strips of pattern paper, I added some peel-offs, some Love from Lizzie peel-offs in that purple. Can you see them there? And they're a little bit shimmery, shiny. And so again, I didn't add a sentiment to this or an image. I want to save this in case I want to use it for a birthday card or thinking of you card or just because card. So I like to leave some of my cards without sentiments just for that purpose. And then last but not least, my friends, here is sketch number 15. And this one, I just stamped the sentiment that says Happy Valentine's Day and added a few little hearts around it using that edible eggplant ink. And isn't that beautiful? And I love this pattern paper, the Christmas trees, the purple Christmas trees, so pretty. All right, let me kind of lay out all my cards so you can see them all together. See if I can get them all laid out on screen. I always misjudging where to center my cards. All righty. I'm going to put them in order, hopefully. I think I kept them in order. Sometimes I don't. But look at all that purple and red. I love it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. That one may have to overlap a bit. Let's lower this a bit. I want to make sure you can see everything. Everything. Here we go. Oh, there they are, guys. All 15. So these are my 15 cards for my December entry for Kendra's Card Challenge 20. And I used wonderful, beautiful goodies from the Not Too Shabby Shop December box of the month. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I'd be thrilled if you subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on any of my other social media platforms. As always, have a beautiful, safe, and creative day. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Come a little closer. I wanna dance with you. Everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else crazy for you. I feel like the ocean.